So that opens it up to comments from residents on non-agenda items. Mr. Elms, you are up, sir.
Paul Elms from Monroeville. Good evening. I have a community request, and the good news is it's not going to cost any money at all.
We like this.
And the request is, can the administration give a monthly update of the equity programs and the successes in those programs in the district as a part of the superintendent's report? And I just read your agenda, so I now know what to call it. I'm a member of a number of community groups, and I don't pretend to represent these groups, but I do talk to people. And this is something that's commonly interested within the community. Gateway is a school district that celebrates its diversity, while there are school districts that struggle with their diversity. In 2016-17 district report by Dr. Short, he had a quotation, and it took several, this is a quotation, "It took several years for principals and teachers to get the focus off demographics, which they could not control, and onto curriculum, increased and quality of instruction, which they could control. Gateway's been on that diversity path, searching for solutions." Then I listed, part of that path. In 2015, we had an equity report for the school district. 2016, we had the achievement gap. That ran for a year, and in 2017, they gave a report. At the end of 2017, we hired a part-time equity director. In 2018 or 19, we had a report from that equity director, and now I think we'd like to know what's going on. Gateway is not the school district it was 50 years ago. Equity in education across race, ethnicity, and economic boundaries is a real concern. Equity does not mean equality. In a book I read, they had a nice description between equity and equality. Equality is giving every student exactly the same things to achieve the exact same goal. Equity means holding students of different needs to a single expectation, but giving students those things that they need to meet those expectations. Kids have different needs. Some kids will enter school with zero education, and other kids will have 3 years or 4 years of school when they enter school. There's not an equity there. So the achievement gap is just an indicator of the need for equity. Gateway clearly recognizes that different students have different needs. Reducing and eliminating the achievement gap depends on identifying and using things that underachieving students' needs. And I know Gateway is doing that now. So Gateway does have a multifaceted equity plan. I'm pretty sure things are happening. I see them. I would just like to ask you to tell the community what's going on, because we're interested, and I think that's great. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. There's no doubt that this district, over the last 4 or 5 years, has been committed to this issue, and we're not stopping by any means. And I know Dr. Chakey has been appointed the Director of Equity within the district. We talk about it almost daily, the things that have happened even from day one of our school with teachers coming back. So I can defer to Dr. Chakey if he would like to quickly summarize our efforts at this point.
Myself, Dr. Short, and Dr. Rossi, when we got together and we started thinking about our strategic plan framework, equity was right at the cornerstone. I mean, it's impossible to think that we're going to address equity sporadically. So everything that we do, all the initiatives that we have, is sprinkled in with equity. It's the cornerstone of what we're thinking about. And we realize that not one person can do this. Not one person can step into a district and lead all the equity initiatives. So our thinking is that we wanted to foster leadership in every facet that we possibly could. So what we did is we've been relying on the expertise of our teachers. I can't say enough, and I would say the last couple months, we have so much momentum going as far as our equity work, that it is just unbelievable. And it's not because of us, it's because of the people within our district that are jumping on board. We have a Gateway School District Equity Committee. In addition to the three of us, Mr. Rocco Telly, the middle school principal, Mr. Mike Jack, principal of CSE. It's made up of teachers, Sharita Allen, the Gateway Middle School teacher, Mr. Richard Campbell from the high school, a teacher. We also have Betty Howard, counselor from Mosside Middle School, is on this committee, and also April King, a teacher from Evergreen Elementary. And it has been excellent. We've done so much work in the past couple months as far as taking a look at national models. We wanted to see how can we be supported more. We looked at national models. We came to the consensus, though, they all have the same commonality, that we'll throw out words and we'll throw out phrases, equity, culturally responsive pedagogy. But then what's next? What I like about this group of educators is we kind of embrace this idea of, we're not going to talk about it, but we're going to be about it in everything that we do. Because enough talk. We could have seminars and we could all talk about things and how we need equity, but we got together and we thought, how are we going to make this at the classroom level to make sure that we're aligned to strategic theme number one, assuring a positive and supportive environment for all students. How are we going to, what's this going to look like? So our equity team started to etch out some ideas around culturally responsive pedagogy. Now, teachers are evaluated through Charlotte Danielson's framework for teaching, and they eventually get the 82-1 at the end of the school year. We know that culturally responsive pedagogy has to be in there somewhere, and it is. But what we've done is we've pulled these critical attributes out. For example, we identified across the framework all these different components. We identified 9 power components that are CRP, culturally responsive pedagogy power components. And we've identified the 9. Principals are talking to teachers about this. Teachers are getting some of this information through the induction program that's going on right now. And it's been excellent. When you look at component 1B, right within the evaluation tool, it demonstrates knowledge of students. We're already talking about this in pre-conferences during the planning and preparation with teachers. It looks at, is the teacher sitting back and planning a lesson that takes into account a student's cultural heritage? It's right there within the plan, the critical attributes. So we're taking advantage of that during the pre-conferences with teachers and with principals to make sure that everyone's on the same page as that. A lot of the literature from Latz and Billings talks about the fact that within a discussion, students should be able to voice their opinions, and they should be able to lead the discussion and have critical thinking activities and things of that nature. Instead of just throwing it out there, we look into the framework, component 3B, using questioning and discussion technique right within our evaluation tool. We want to get to the level where teachers can scaffold the learning and then they step aside as a facilitator. It's written right in there with the critical attributes. So this is what we're looking at when we do walkthroughs. So it's down at the building level already. The professional development opportunities, the back to school event that we had, Dr. April King and Dr. Janet Neithamer did an excellent job in showing teachers culturally responsive practice within the classroom. Not just talking about it, but breaking down instructional practices to look for, providing examples, going through social studies, going through math, going through science. It has been excellent. So there's a lot, there's just so many moving parts as far as this is going right now, and we couldn't be happier. Dr. Rossi went into EduPlanet with April King, and she has been creating these learning modules within EduPlanet. EduPlanet is just a software that you can go into and go through learning modules and learn about culturally responsive pedagogy. So Dr. April King has been setting those up with the assistance of Dr. Rossi, and it's been excellent. I mean, just this whole idea of fostering leadership within others, because we know it's important to us, and it's going to be embedded within all of our work. We're branching off into school leadership teams, the school-based equity teams, to where we have our GSD equity committee, the district committee, and they're going to be in contact with the school equity team, and that's going to be going down to the teachers, to all staff members, counselors, school police, everyone within the building. So everyone's on the same page and remaining focused on equity. Myself and Dr. Rossi, we're going to be meeting with principals in what we're calling school leadership meetings, where equity is going to be the focus there as well. We're going to look at student data. We have folders for each of the schools that takes a look, like you said, and we fully believe that. We're not talking about equality, the same for everyone. We're talking about equity, where if there's a particular student that needs more, we're going to provide that. We're putting together student cohort folders for each school. And myself, Dr. Rossi, and Dr. Short, we're going to go into the schools, look at the student data for these students, maybe the attendance, discipline data, and everything down along the line so that we can make sure that we're supporting the students how they need to be. So, and we could definitely provide a report, a mid-year report, end of the year report.
I was all
report should be up
Yeah, there's-
6 months.
We're excited.
That was excellent.
If I could just add, all of the educational periodicals that are coming out address the equity issue in education. And we have been contacted by multiple school districts, and I would say Minnesota, the state of Minnesota, we had a superintendent call us just from doing Google searches on achievement gap and equity and all the work that we've done internally within the district. So the word is out there, and Gateway's being contacted by outside districts concerning what we're doing for equity.
And I just add, Mr. Elms, you know that this was, as I ran for board, this was an issue that was very near and dear to my heart. It's something I was, something I was definitely taking a look at as I ran as one of my campaign issues. And after being here for almost 2 years, I'm immensely proud of the work that this administration has done, dealing with a lot of different situations, and just the proactiveness of this administration and the way that they're, like you said, reaching out to build leadership and really activating everybody within the district to get excited about this. I'm proud of the achievements we've made and the steps, the gains we've made, but more importantly, I'm excited that they're not happy with that, and that they're not satisfied, and they're going to keep pushing forward to keep building equity. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.